just really have to get to a kickoff point. This is the 4th video in my G10 journey, and I'm going by sites and profile pictures, and that helps me set up the progression forward through about 8 of my sites. Now, those 8 locations, and the profile picture is this, which comes from site 4 and Saponi. Lady Liberty with a headdress there. And Chip Corner Notch, great heart. I was able to jump back and catch some videos that I missed last night. You're right, the community is strong, is exemplary in hobbies that people have today. I mean, so many, unfortunately, have slid off the side of the grass embankment down into perversion and just stupidity when it comes to the things that they're involved in and the hobbies. And that includes video games for adults. I mean, give me a break. But the undertaking that we have for ancient North American Indian, I mean ancient North American Indian artifacts, is to me worthwhile, but yet it's exemplary to our children. Right here, great necklace, right? Are, and I haven't seen them that often either, what I consider G10s. Now, to put to rest, remember G10 is a rating, and it holds its strongest aspect inside your own heart. What you consider to be top grade. Because most of us don't really get into huge amounts of buying and selling. But we like to know what points are rated, and God knows what we know what we would hold a point, or that we would never sell a point just because of what it means to us. And it might be a chunky looking point that just somehow touched our heart. It could be the very first arrowhead you ever found. All right, now let's do this. The last video is shocking. Good thing I took the footage. Now this, as you can see, one compartment. And from site 4, because I went for my profile picture, the great quartz piece and the workmanship on these is just unbelievable. I don't want to take too long time, but enough. I've had such a great response. Man, the focus is just bothering me. There we go. I've got to move slower. Such a great response to these display videos. Heck, I don't see them that often, so there's no possible way you guys or those out there that are just lovers of artifacts. And I see the views steadily moving up through core numbers. The base, I guess the base fans of Indian trace, and I have new people step up too. Just the quartz work that they do around here in eastern North Carolina. I'm starting to get a perspective for it. Now, I might find 9-10 pieces of rhyolite before I ever find a piece of quartz. So when you see videos like this, you might tend to think, well, my goodness, he has pieces of quartz all over the place. I don't. So that's the first one that sets the scale for the 4th video and site 4. Now, every site, when I say site, holds a cluster, if not dozens, of different land areas that I know were either kill sites or occupation sites. Look at this piece from the clay pot. Crazy, right? Now I'm going to take a break, because the video before this, of course, was in the field, and it was this. Now, after studying it, and those of you who are eye hawks and hawks for artifacts, look as close as you want, because I've already confirmed there's no machining. This is not a modern piece. This is an ancient Indian pendant. So I'm floored. I had no idea out in the field. It was hard for me to believe. It's hard to believe. But I know how they wore things, and I know how they made things and what they could do. So all in all, and this is the texture of, you can see if it were bigger, I'd say, look at there's a hammerstone, but indeed it's not. And I wanted to do a cleanup on this Some of you out there that find, like, I mean, Great Basin Man, he finds charm stones and, I mean, atlatl weights and what have you. This is different. This was made for personal wearing. And it's I would say fairly heavy. It's dense. It's as grainy and gritty as you can imagine. It sparkles when it's in full light, but you can see how these holes are drilled, and they are uneven. Look at that. Can you even believe it? You can see the way they made this. And what's neat about it is it's not perfect at all. It's more of an area here than it is on this side, and there's some just scraping. You can see the scraping in the valley, just to dig it out for whatever reason that they wanted to dig it out. You see the valley? Crazy pendant, right? You know, I have a mind myself to wear the thing. No, I couldn't do it though. I couldn't do it. This is too rare after so many artifacts. But I found it at a place that I call the Glass Point. I don't get through there as often as I should. But after something like this, all of us know that you tend to get pulled to checking the place out more and more. Show you that side as well. It's a heck of a piece, isn't it? And my time just goes on by, but that was incredible in the last video. Many of you out there will be able to testify that that is rare. Giving a good look for the skeptics, because I was a skeptic for 20 minutes when I analyzed the thing. I just couldn't believe it. I'm blown away. All right. G10 Journey. Site 4. I'm going to try to do this in about 2 minutes, guys. So I'm going to do a slow drift and fly around this place and tell you where these came from. To me, some of my top quality 1-inch to 1.5-inch quartz work. Vein quartz here from Knoxville. Good natural light here today. Hope everybody is doing well out there. I want to answer one question out there. Most of the political interest links now that I share are from real.video. Here's a good point. I'm not getting the focus in as the way I want it. There we go. That's from the Cove. Look at the exasperated double notches on that thing. Crazy, right? So with that said, the links that I've been sharing, I'm starting to majority share many of the great, and there's so many good guests, so many great journalists, so many great stories on the Alex Jones channel. Oh yeah, oh sure. The modern, liberal MSM would have you socially conditioned to believe a whole bunch of stuff about Alex Jones that you never did think about, consider, or examine, or do your own homework for yourself, or go to listen to the channel or a human being and make your own mind up about credibility and about freedom and about constitutional ethics. That's a great point from Dear Pass. So I encourage you to do that. I put the links up there in majority from real.video and the Alex Jones channel because Twitter, Facebook, YouTube all decided that as a corporation they would censor an American citizen and just like Nazi Germany, make it so that they could not use the communication that we in the 21st century has come to understand as everyday necessity, even for our jobs and livelihood. Here's a great little point from W Properties. Okay, enough said. That's the reason why most of the majority of my links, and don't let that discourage you. I guarantee you, because I know artifact collectors, they're thinkers, they're analyzers, they're analytical, and I'm going to promise you, you'd like your child, to have enough and have an environment of freedom where they could go out just like you have, just like I have here, to the sites that you leave in their hands. Because I'm going to have a heck of a treasure map for my sons and go out and harvest some artifacts to save them, to enjoy freedom. Not just that, but of expression in their classroom at school, of expression out in the street, not fascism. And people say, "Are you kidding me?" Oh, I'm sorry, that's from Mecca right there. Actually, that's from Old Faithful. I can't get the focus, I'm sorry. Look at this point though. There we go. I'm going to stop ranting and raving. I just gave the explanation as to why most of my links now. I do that because on YouTube, until they pull me, and they already shadow ban me and they already censor me, until they pull me, I will continue to route people. You just have to do this. Every great leader has always said, you can judge a man by the enemies that they have. And if the full mainstream news media hate all the journalists associated with Alice Jones, and there's some great people, men and women, listen to them. Every race, every variety of person and journalists, and they all have a level head. They're not screaming and yelling incoherently, not even, some people can't even have a conversation. Oh, I'm sorry. This one here is from the jump off. This one here is from Notchville. This one here is a smoking piece of milky quartz from Notchville 1, where this is Notchville 3. There's 3 little different areas there. Anyway, I always tell people and tell my sons, listen, think, judge for yourself. So I just want to give people the possible opportunity to do that. It's a great point right there from the bear. You can see why I have chosen myself to make these my G10s. I mean, that pendant right there, good gracious. If that's not a G10, my word have mercy. Whew, I don't even know what to think about that. This is a great point from a place that doesn't come open that often. Sacred Sands. Sacred Sands. Quartz. Here's a great piece of quartz from the dunes. And as we finish, this piece of serration is from W Properties, very unique, great stuff. Good close-up. And that is Site 4 opening point, which designated the bin that these would be pulled from. And it's a continuation of my G10 journey, and which will represent every site that I have. My top shelf. Hope you find out there.